Envision for a moment that deep within you resides an ancient sentinel, a silent yet unwavering force that orchestrates your life without your conscious awareness. This sentinel is none other than the reptilian brain, the most archaic segment of our nervous system, a primal construct sculpted over millions of years with a singular focus: survival, reproduction, and the assertion of territory. Despite the advancements of human civilization, our creation of intricate societies, the birth of profound philosophies, and our relentless pursuit of unraveling the cosmos, the reptilian brain has remained unchanged, steadfast in its primitive directives. This fundamental component of your psyche does not concern itself with your spiritual enlightenment, aspirations for self-improvement, or existential quest for purpose. Instead, it relentlessly seeks safety, comfort, and stability. But what if you could harness these deep-seated instincts and transmute them into instruments of empowerment and transformation? In this exploration, we will dissect the operational mechanisms of the reptilian brain, unravel its dominion over our emotional responses, and, most crucially, learn the art of mastering it. Because if you fail to command this primal force, then it will inevitably command you. Picture yourself meandering through a dense forest at twilight. The harmonious symphony of chirping birds mingles with the soft whispers of rustling leaves, creating an atmosphere of serenity. But suddenly, a sharp crack pierces the air, a twig snapping somewhere behind you. Instantly, your heart pounds, your muscles coil, and your breath becomes rapid and shallow. Before your rational mind has time to process the event, your body is already prepared for one of two actions: fight or flight. This is the unfiltered manifestation of the reptilian brain in action. As the oldest component of our nervous system, it operates with a singular objective: to preserve life by responding to threats with swiftness and precision. Unlike the analytical mind, it does not deliberate, nor does it engage in contemplation. It simply reacts. At the very foundation of our neurological framework lies the reptilian brain, composed of the brainstem and cerebellum. This ancient structure governs instinctual behaviors, actions executed without the need for conscious reasoning. It is the unseen architect behind our reflexive withdrawal from a scorching surface, the involuntary shivers that accompany an eerie sound in the darkness, and the automatic urge to flee from an immediate threat. It is aptly termed the reptilian brain because its functionality is shared with reptiles, creatures that operate purely on raw instinct, devoid of intricate emotions or complex cognition. Their behaviors, hunting, evasion, reproduction, are dictated by an innate biological script, executed without introspection or hesitation. Despite our evolutionary progress, we continue to carry this primal blueprint within us. The fundamental dilemma arises from the contrast between our ancestral environment and modern society. Our forebears grappled with life-or-death encounters, predators lurking in the shadows, hostile rival clans, and the merciless elements of nature. Today, however, the threats we face have shifted dramatically. Instead of wild beasts, we fear public scrutiny. Instead of physical combat, we dread missing deadlines. Instead of surviving the wilderness, we battle the pressures of social media. Yet, our reptilian brain remains incapable of distinguishing between tangible, life-threatening dangers and abstract, modern anxieties. As a result, it triggers the same instinctual fear response to a looming project deadline as it would to an approaching predator. The reptilian brain executes three primary responses to perceived danger. Fight. This response is fueled by aggression, defensiveness, and impulsivity. It can serve as an asset in extreme physical confrontations, but in daily life, it often manifests as unnecessary conflicts, an unwillingness to accept change, and a hyperreactive disposition. Flight. This mechanism prompts avoidance, procrastination, and retreat. The fear of failure, rejection, and the unknown stems from this deep-rooted impulse, compelling individuals to withdraw rather than confront challenges. Freeze. This reaction results in complete inaction, an overwhelming paralysis where the mind shuts down, rendering decision-making nearly impossible. It occurs when fear dominates to such an extent that it inhibits any form of response. While these responses were essential for survival in prehistoric times, they have become insidious barriers in contemporary life. They subtly sabotage our potential, deterring us from seizing opportunities, pursuing personal growth, or embracing risk. The fear of public speaking, the reluctance to embark on new ventures, and the tendency to delay crucial decisions. All of these stem from an overactive reptilian brain seeking to shield us from perceived, albeit non-existent, threats. Consider how many of your daily choices are driven by fear rather than genuine intent. Do you navigate your career path based on passion or because you dread failure? Do you cling to familiar routines out of love for stability or because uncertainty terrifies you? Are you actively living or merely surviving? The reptilian brain does not advocate for your evolution. Rather, it resists it. It thrives in repetition, predictability, and sameness. This is precisely why countless individuals remain ensnared in unsatisfying jobs, toxic relationships, and self-destructive habits, not due to contentment, but because the prospect of change instills a profound sense of unease. Transformation demands stepping into the unknown, a prospect that the reptilian brain instinctively opposes. The renowned psychologist Carl Jung once proclaimed, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." If you fail to recognize the influence of this primal force within you, it will continue to chart your course without your awareness. However, if you choose to confront it, you can begin the process of mastering it. Fear is the most primal and potent human emotion. Throughout evolutionary history, it served as an indispensable survival mechanism, ensuring vigilance against genuine threats. However, in modern society, this same fear is frequently wielded as an instrument of control. Those who comprehend the inner workings of fear possess the ability to manipulate the collective psyche, shaping behaviors and reinforcing societal structures that do not necessarily serve the individual's best interests. Governments and media entities have long exploited fear as a mechanism for mass influence. By fostering an environment of perpetual apprehension, it becomes exponentially easier to implement extreme measures and sway public consensus. Economic downturns, global conflicts, health crises, all of these are magnified to evoke vulnerability. And when fear takes hold, individuals instinctively seek refuge in authoritative systems that offer the illusion of safety. This strategic use of fear was profoundly examined by philosopher Michel Foucault, who introduced the concept of biopolitics, the utilization of fear to regulate populations and uphold power structures. The greater a society's anxiety about the future, the less likely it is to challenge the status quo. This manipulation is not confined to the political sphere. It permeates every aspect of daily existence, influencing everything from consumer behavior to social interactions. To break free from this psychological captivity, one must cultivate awareness. Recognizing the silent grip of the reptilian brain is the first step toward reclaiming autonomy. By consciously engaging with fear, questioning its validity, assessing its true source, and reframing its influence, we can dismantle its hold over our decisions and, ultimately, our destiny. Mastering the reptilian brain does not mean eradicating it. It means transforming it from a blind enforcer of instinct into a conscious ally of evolution. By channeling its raw energy into calculated action rather than reactive fear, we can reclaim our power, break free from limiting patterns, and step into the highest version of ourselves. Because the ultimate battle is not against the world. It is against the chains within our own minds. Many advertisements exploit fear as a tactic to market solutions. The dread of aging fuels the beauty industry, pushing people toward anti-aging creams, cosmetic procedures, and countless skincare products. The fear of illness and declining health drives individuals to overconsume medications, supplements, and health services, often beyond necessity. Similarly, the fear of social rejection plays a crucial role in promoting compulsive shopping habits. People purchase luxury brands, trendy outfits, and the latest gadgets not always out of genuine need, but from an internalized anxiety about fitting in or gaining acceptance. Even religious doctrines have leveraged fear as a powerful tool. The dread of divine punishment, the concept of hell, or the looming threat of negative karma keep countless followers within specific belief systems, discouraging questions and reinforcing strict dogmatic structures. Financial fear is another major driver of human behavior. The terror of poverty, the anxiety of losing financial stability, or even the stress of falling short of societal expectations push individuals into soul-crushing jobs, making them reluctant to take risks or pursue their passions. Many remain trapped in exploitative economic systems simply because the fear of uncertainty outweighs the potential benefits of change. To break free from fear-based manipulation, cultivating critical awareness is essential. Each time a sense of fear arises, take a moment to analyze whether it is a genuine concern or an artificially induced reaction. More often than not, upon deeper examination, it becomes evident that what seemed like a threat is merely an exaggerated or illusory perception. One of the most effective ways to mitigate the influence of fear is through mindfulness. By practicing the art of being present and observing thoughts without immediate reaction, we can prevent fear from dictating our decisions. Moreover, expanding knowledge and fostering emotional resilience fortifies the mind against manipulative narratives designed to exploit insecurities. Fear can either be a useful tool or a suffocating prison. Those who grasp its mechanisms and learn to navigate it with awareness become architects of their own fate. Conversely, those who remain unaware of its influence end up as pawns within systems that capitalize on their vulnerability. Mastering the primitive, instinct-driven part of the brain does not imply suppressing or denying its existence. The reptilian brain, the most primal region of our mind, will always be present, as it is an intrinsic part of our biological makeup. However, the key lies in exercising control over its automatic responses, shifting from impulsive reactions to intentional, conscious choices. The first step toward this mastery is recognizing when it is steering our actions. Whenever we experience irrational fear, extreme impulsivity, or resistance to change, it is a strong indication that the reptilian brain is in charge. This part of the mind always seeks the safest, most predictable route, even if that means keeping us confined within self-imposed limitations. For instance, when an individual avoids an opportunity due to fear of failure, lashes out over minor frustrations, or procrastinates in the face of a challenge, these behaviors signal the dominance of primitive instincts. To reclaim control, it is essential to introduce a pause between stimulus and response. If someone provokes us, the immediate impulse may be to retaliate. However, if we take a brief moment to pause, breathe deeply, and assess the situation, the rational mind gains the opportunity to intervene. This simple practice of self-awareness allows for a more thoughtful and strategic reaction rather than a reflexive, emotionally charged one. Another powerful technique in mastering the reptilian brain is voluntary exposure to discomfort. Since this primal mind naturally avoids pain and seeks immediate gratification, deliberately stepping outside of one's comfort zone is an effective way to train it. Engaging in small daily acts of discipline, such as waking up early despite the urge to sleep in, completing tasks without succumbing to distractions, or facing anxiety-provoking situations head-on, gradually rewires the brain to embrace challenges rather than flee from them. Reprogramming emotional associations is also a valuable method. Since the reptilian brain operates on the principles of fear, pleasure, and pain, it can be conditioned to associate productive habits with rewards and harmful behaviors with undesirable consequences. Over time, this mental rewiring shifts the brain's natural inclinations, allowing it to work in alignment with personal growth rather than against it. Meditation and deep introspection further enhance this mastery. The practice of observing thoughts without immediately identifying with them cultivates a heightened level of self-control. The more one develops awareness of their internal reactions, the less they become enslaved to primitive impulses. Achieving dominance over the reptilian brain is not an overnight transformation. It is an ongoing process of conscious training. Every deliberate choice strengthens the rational mind, reinforcing its authority over automatic instinctual patterns. True power does not come from rejecting this primitive aspect of the mind, but from harnessing it as a force for self-improvement and evolution. Human evolution is not merely defined by technological advancements or intellectual achievements, but by the conquest of the self. The individual who gains mastery over their mind ceases to be a passive participant in life, ruled by unchecked emotions, and instead becomes a sovereign being, directing their destiny with intention. This distinction separates those who live consciously from those who are merely driven by habitual responses, reacting to external circumstances like puppets controlled by deep-seated fears and desires. History offers countless examples of individuals who transcended their primitive programming. The Japanese samurai embraced the philosophy of mushin, a state of mind free from fear, hesitation, or distraction, allowing them to act with clarity and purpose. Indian yogis dedicated lifetimes to mastering techniques that silenced bodily and mental impulses, achieving unparalleled self-discipline. The Stoic philosophers of ancient Greece, such as Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, preached the necessity of mastering emotions to attain true inner freedom. When a person reaches this level of self-governance, they are no longer enslaved by fear. Challenges do not paralyze them. Criticism does not destabilize them. External temptations lose their grip over their focus and determination. Instead of reacting impulsively to stimuli, they move through life with intentionality, acting based on reasoned decisions rather than fleeting emotions. This advanced stage of self-awareness does not require the elimination of emotions or instincts, but rather the understanding and strategic application of them. Anger, when directed correctly, can serve as a catalyst for action. Fear, when recognized and analyzed, can be transformed into caution rather than avoidance. Desire, when consciously managed, can become a driving force for achievement rather than a trap of short-lived gratification. Those who fail to cultivate mastery over their mind remain vulnerable to external manipulation. They become easily swayed by fear-driven propaganda, societal trends, and ideological influences that do not genuinely reflect their own values or desires. Their lives become dictated by subconscious patterns rather than deliberate intention. Yet, the individual who transcends the reptilian brain achieves true sovereignty over themselves. They no longer seek external validation, remain shackled by dogmas, or make choices from a place of fear. Instead, they carve their own path, fully aware that genuine freedom is not found in external conditions, but in the ability to govern one's own mind. This is the ultimate frontier of human evolution, not just a leap in technology or intellect, but the rise of a truly conscious being capable of shaping their reality without being enslaved by primitive instincts that continue to dominate much of humanity. If this perspective resonated with you, share this message with others and continue exploring the depths of self-mastery. Thank you for watching.